Hey everybody, if you're an empath, you've probably heard the phrase that empathy is a superpower. And while this is true, it also comes with some burdens we don't necessarily learn how to be with while we're growing up. And as an empath who's also been in a care profession for years now, I can say my experiences have included things like burnout, worrying over people's emotions, taking them home with me, which really is not the best thing when you're running a business or trying to have a healthy and happy, thriving relationship. If you feel like you've been there too and you're looking for ways to own your empathy superpower, while also dropping the baggage that sometimes comes with it, the emotional burdens, learning how to cultivate your own energy, not being sideswiped by an energy vampire, then today's video is for you. We'll be covering 3 tools I use with my clients and for myself as a coach to help me tap into my power while not being owned and burned out by it. If that would be useful for you, then please keep on watching and don't forget to press like and subscribe below so you don't miss out on another future episode. My name is Craig Cassie and this is Coaching Naked. Hey everybody, Craig Cassie here, executive life and relationship coach and coach trainer, here to help you build the life, relationships, business that you want, filled with abundance, adventure, and authenticity. And today we're doing that by talking about empaths. And if you are one, how can you really tap into that superpower while not letting it own or tire you out? Specifically, 3 tools that you can use that will make a difference in your life so that you can still be the empath you know yourself to be while also not letting it run you ragged. But before we get into those 3 tips, first, what even is an empath and how can you tell if you are one? You might be wondering right now, am I an empath? Well, here are some places to look. Empaths are typically said to be more sensitive people, not only for their own lives, but when you come into contact, do you ever feel like you experience or can tell the emotions or the energetic experience of the other person? Even without talking or hearing them say the words about how they feel, if you feel like you have an inner knowing, or you can even feel it in your body physically, odds are that you are an empath. Empaths also tend to show up in spaces where they're used to care for others because they can understand how people feel. They're more willing to lean in, to reach out a hand. And also sometimes as empaths, we notice that we are one because we begin to do the opposite. As people who can feel so much in the world, it's really common to actually try to cut off that feeling and be very proficient in numbing mechanisms, no matter what they are. For me, my old numbing mechanism was to be so busy I could not feel. Certainly not the way I want to show up as a coach for my clients who rely upon my empathy, but it was one of the ways I balanced out being inundated with so many sensory experiences. So if any of those things you can relate with, then odds are you are an empathist or an empath as well. So if any of those things sound like you or you can relate with them, odds are that you also are an empath as well. And the next 3 tips will be especially helpful for you in managing your life going forward. And that brings us to our first tool. The power phrase is, I am not my feelings, I am not my emotions or my physical sensations either. And here's why this is such an important and powerful tool. Because as empaths, a lot of us, even myself, we learn about the world by feeling it, right? We begin to learn what our truth is by feeling it. And sometimes we forget that we're also, as empaths, likely to feel what others are feeling as well, even though it has nothing to do with our truth whatsoever. So when we relate to our feelings as fact, when we begin to feel from other people, this is why we experience things like exhaustion and burnout, because we're forgetting to take off the experience of others. Instead, it's like taking a wet sweater from somebody you just met, wearing it all the way home and asking, why am I so wet and cold? It's actually not who you be in the moment. Maybe you're having a great day, but somebody was feeling that wet, cold feeling, that anxiety, that burden, that dread, and instead of experiencing it, letting it move through your body and releasing it, you experienced it and your brain began to think, how is this true for me? What is this telling me? What is the factness, the fact about this? And this is why it's important to remember feelings and physical sensations are data points, which sometimes will speak to your truth, but other times when you're with others, they're really just data points about what's going on in the world. So tool number 1, the power phrases, I'm not my emotions, my physical feelings either, and begin to practice telling yourself that when you experience things, so you can separate yourself from the experience itself. Which brings us right to tool number 2, which is actually practice bringing your attention to your feelings from a lens of curiosity. And curiosity is a great tool for empaths because it naturally separates you from the experience you're having and allows you to alleviate yourself from owning that thing. One of the tools that we need as an empath is to be able to experience someone's feelings or whatever it is they're sharing in the moment and to then remove it from us. And I find as a coach, the moments when I'm feeling most held down or burdened by a client's energy, it usually means that I'm not distancing myself enough. This doesn't mean that I'm being cold or that I want to be, emotionally distant, not at all. But I use the following imagery to help me out those moments. From a lens of curiosity, I can be with a client as if I'm on a football field or a basketball court, watching my body interact with theirs. My body's having a feeling because they're sharing something. What might this tell me about what's being present in the moment? But at the same time, relate to myself as somebody sitting in the stands watching this unfold before me. The physical feelings I see myself having on the court or the field, they're not my truth. They're simply a data point I'm going to look at. Say, that's curious. What has me feel this way now when that feeling wasn't present before? I might even reflect it back to a client. Hey, over here, I'm now experiencing this thing. What are you experiencing this moment? What might we learn from this? Curiosity says, instead of relating to something as fact that we must own and then run with and process and figure out, it simply gives us the freedom to notice something, to see what is available to us or the other person as a result, and then to let it go. Curiosity is the way that we can be connected with someone and also distant from owning the experience that they're generating at the time. When other people's experiences begin to move through our bodies or we begin to notice they're present in our space, we might have a hard time naming the differences. So it's really important actually to understand, what is it that you're feeling? What's your emotional fluency so that you can support seeing when you enter a space, what are the changes that also come, and then flag them as, that's different. That's not me. This might just be that person. So some practices that can support you in actually building that muscle of emotional and energetic physical fluency are simple. One of my favorites is to actually create your own meditation. Pull out an emotion that you want to practice feeling throughout your body and pick a time or memory when you knew that you experienced that emotion. Begin to close your eyes and let that memory play out in your head as if it were a Hallmark movie, and just notice, what are the feelings carrying out throughout your body? Ask yourself, ask your body, hey, body, show me the sensation of happiness as you play out this memory as if it were a Hallmark movie, and just notice where you feel it. Same thing with sadness or dread, excitement or hope. And as you play through these different emotions, you'll begin to feel what those feelings feel like for you. This will also help you if you happen to be a coach or in a care profession or you have a team. As you experience something from another person, you might be more able to differentiate what energy they're bringing. And we might start with very straightforward emotions like the happy or the sad, but you'll begin to learn too that there are nuances that will become much more easily comprehensible by you or for you. Things like the experience of having a great deal of desire to take a leap, but also dread it being right near the cliff's edge. It's a common one we have in coaching all the time. So we're helping people create that next breakthrough. Experiences of desire paired with vulnerability and a resistance to go beyond it might feel a certain way too. So this gets to be a fun game for empaths to play where we really get to build up our own muscles so that we know where we're at foundationally, right? And can be better able to tell when others are bringing their stuff to our table so we can sift out what is ours, what is not, and better support those people in our life. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to tools that can support you as an empath, as a leader trying to tap into their empathy or their intuition. So just know we'll have future videos coming out in the future, but if you have any tips or tools that have been beneficial for you, please drop them in the comment section below so we can share with the community and build that wealth. Additionally, if you have more questions that you want answered, let us know and we'll film them in a future video. With that said, I hope you all have an awesome day and we'll see you next time.